Hey everybody, Johannes from Avatar here, being all socially distant in the best possible way. Revolver has asked me to talk about our last show for the last show segment that they're doing for Road Crew Relief. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk a bit about what's going on right now, and but most about what will happen in the future. So, the last show we played was in St. Petersburg in Russia, opening for Shutdown. We were probably among some of the very, very last bands to be out there playing shows before everything shut down. I think our understanding and our acceptance of the severity of what was about to happen and already happening, we were kind of in denial, I guess. But as we did that show just the day before and stuff, it started to become more and more evident what was happening in the world. So there was this strange vibe. We actually found out as we were going on stage that, they're gonna close down big events in Russia, all over Russia, on Wednesday, and I guess this was a Saturday or Sunday. So whoa, we're real out among the last ones, and they're gonna close the borders the day after we're flying home. Like we were really on some of the last planes that would take us home, and before borders were closing and all that. So we got to do shows as close up to that line drawn in the sand where no one could anymore. We were probably one step over, honestly. But for that reason, I kind of savored it. We did a little handful of shows with Shutdown there across Russia, and got to as far as Siberia for the first time. And it's just one of those little one-off things. We decided to, it wouldn't be a full-fledged tour for us. It wouldn't be, we would be kind of in the middle of nothing as far as, album cycles are concerned, as we had kind of finished the whole Avatar country thing and we are heading into all this new stuff. But so I didn't take it super seriously I didn't take it super seriously at the time. Of course, always on stage you kind of do, of course, always, but it was still something, you just do this in between. But seeing what was kind of about to happen and what was happening, and seeing now in hindsight especially what's going on, and that we don't know when we get to come and see any of you guys again, I'm very happy we got to do that. Very lucky to get that little fix in before it was before it was too late. So we're lucky like that. The last show I went to as a fan, it was actually, must have been Devin Townsend in Helsinki, now in his last tour for Genesis. Because after that we went to Los Angeles to record, and after that there was something else, and after that, Devin Townsend, and it was excellent. We spent some time together at the beginning of last year touring, him opening for us, however that came about. Now I'm a huge Devin Townsend fan, and that something that we as a band with Avatar really have learned from him, I guess. At least I take huge inspiration just in the fact to dare to change, to dare to be who you are at any particular time in your life, to have that kind of honest expression with what you do, for better or worse. There's very little pretense in what he does. And right now it was his Hawaiian shirt, happy vibe. I'll let what, you should check out the Devin Townsend interview instead of this with me to have explained what it was all about, because he does a better job describing it. But it was something very much in the here and now, as it always is with him, which makes every show special and unique. And musically, he had stepped away from all the backing tracks and had a whole lot more musicians on stage. and did it like that, which was made it sound very, very different. Different musicians from the last bunch of times I've seen him made it also, fresh. It's always fresh with Devin, and I think that's something that I really want to do with Avatar as well. We want to do something fresh every time, and not get stuck in in fucking heavy metal Groundhog Day. We want to push whatever we are doing. We want to try to push that forward. So that's a huge inspiration there. Standout song they did. Well, they had the weirdest encore. Because it started with, they started to jam Disco Inferno, and then they play the whole song. What? So they played Disco Inferno, which then went into the drummer Morgan Ågren, and the name escapes me of the other guy, but two of them then played a Zappa piece, just the two of them, and then they did Kingdom, and that was it. So that whole encore was so unexpected, all of it, and threw me off, but it was at the same time excellent and very fitting for what, again, that show was all about, as far as I could, from my point of view as a fan. It is weird to look back at it now, and I haven't looked back at it until I'm being asked to look back now, and it's just because then suddenly you try to go into whatever your mindset was, whatever you're feeling that day, that evening for that show. Same goes for the show we played there in St. Petersburg, and now it feels like, it's right now it's a very, very different world, and I guess in many ways it will stay different. Not as different, I hope, and I hope we get to, spend more time closer to each other as soon as possible. I think that I think we need that, all of us. We're not scheduled to play right now. There's nothing canceled that I wouldn't have been anywhere else than where I am right now if this pandemic wasn't going on. But things in the summer have gotten canceled already, all of it, and we see the fall apart, and the whole thing with now that we have a new album coming, Hunter Gatherer, and our pride for that album and what it means to us and how excited we are to put it out there, nothing of that has changed. The music stands on its own legs, whether we tour it or not, but you're just used to do things a certain way, and now suddenly we can't right now. So that's weird. That's really weird. There was actually this show that I was looking forward to particularly this year. Well, no, wait, there are many. We were going to open fucking Iron Maiden, and hey, here's to next year. Then a very important festival that we attended a lot growing up, and was one of the first one got to play, our hometown festival, Metal Town in Gothenburg, was coming back from the grave this year, and we were given a very nice slot on that billing, and I'm kind of bummed out that is not happening either. Especially sad because, again, it's a festival that hasn't been able to it hasn't happened for the longest time now, and now when it was finally supposed to come back, of course this shitstorm happened. So it's particularly sad with those guys. So as far as the band goes and our future, everything is just delayed. Not everything is going to happen in due time. We just have to make it through this. So Hunter Gatherer is coming out. Music videos leading up to that release, they are coming, and I'm prouder than ever of what we have done, and I think you will see it will speak for itself. And in the meantime, we do what we can to be ready to go once it's time to go. I don't know if it's going to be a year or what until I'm back on stage, but I'm working out with that in mind, and I don't know, I sing and play all the time anyway, so that is all happening, and I'm just want to be, a spring wound up so tight, ready to just fly and poke someone's eye out as soon as we get the chance. So I want to make sure that all the fire that we are feeling and that was supposed to come out, I'm saving that. I'm putting that in the bank and let it grow and let it stay in the bank there with high interest. So we will simply go ballistic once we finally get our chance to be there. Because that's the only option, right? Because it's either start building towards what you want to do now, keep your eyes on that prize and go through that process and just accept that it's a longer process this time, or you just start sitting on your ass and you lose that passion, you lose that fire. And I know what our audience deserves, which version of us they deserve to see, and what they would want to do, and what I want us to do as soon as we get the chance is to be the best version of Avatar possible. Everything about this album will hold true until then, and there's a lot to express on that stage. And yeah, in the meantime, I don't know, we write new songs, do push-ups, bicycles, watch shows, stream, play video games, walk in the park, walk in nature, be in nature. Nature is not contagious. Stay away from people. I never really minded that anyway. So yeah, could be worse, could be better, could be worse. Again, for me, and I just want now everybody to different strokes for different blokes as far as leaders in the world go, and as far as media, how this has been presented, and it's all colored by different political interests. And I get that we all vote for different things. I have my convictions, and there's a time and place to discuss that is not here. But I think in all that noise of the politics and the reporting and the sensationalism, I would say dig a bit beyond the headlines and combine listening to science with trying to have some common sense in this. Stay a bit clean, stay a bit distant, stay a bit sane, take care of yourself. Take your mental health seriously. If you're, in that this is a situation that can and is very, very dark for so many people. And I feel like you should, if you're in a position where you're not doing that bad now, that you still have the means and the power within you to fight it, then try to fight that. Try to take care of your mental health, which might be to take care of your physical health, which definitely has to do to stay in touch with people, whether you can be physically close to each other or not. And those things, stay healthy and hygienic and all that. I know that's what the crew is doing while driving cars for a living. Yeah. Just a pretty bird. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you. Hunter Gatherer, out August 7th, 2020. Yeah.